Every photographer has a special camera. It might not have the best specs, not be the most expensive, even old and outdated, but it has something special that makes you enjoy using it. And today, I want to show you mine. Let me introduce you to Fujifilm XH-1, the camera that made me a better photographer. This is not a review of my favorite photo camera. This is my way of saying thank you to Fujifilm. In this video, I want to show you my favorite camera for photography, and it's probably Fuji's most underrated camera that deserves your attention. I'm making this video not to convince you that that's the best camera for photography, because it's not. I want to focus on my experience and why this camera is definitely worth looking into. But before we begin, I want to ask you to support this channel by pressing like, leaving any comment, and subscribing. I would love to have you here, and it inspires me to create more content. You can also find me on Instagram. So what's so special about XH-1? The camera was introduced back in 2018 and it's 6 years old right now in 2024, but still very capable in many ways. XH-1 has 24 megapixel sensor, it's weather sealed, and it's larger than most Fujifilm X-mount cameras, making it very comfortable to carry around and when used with professional zoom lenses. The battery life is not that good due to old battery style, but can be easily improved by attaching a battery grip, which lets you add 2 more batteries. The battery grip itself is very beneficial. You can have 3 batteries in total. They can last you for many hours or even the whole day, depending on the use. And the grip makes the camera more comfortable to hold. Top LCD is very useful too, showing battery life, frames left, and other information. My history with this camera started in 2020 after selling my Fujifilm X100F, which was my first Fujifilm camera that introduced me to Fuji system, and it's a fantastic camera for everyday use, but at some point I realized I need the ability to change lenses, so I sold it before the prices started going up. After doing some research, I purchased a used Fujifilm XH-1 with 2 zoom lenses 10-24 and 55-140. Even in 2020, I was surprised that I was able to purchase this camera that offered so much value for under $1,000. For some reason, XH-1 was not as popular as other Fujifilm cameras, maybe to the fact that Fujifilm was focusing more on a compact, vintage-looking cameras that had film simulations, and that's why I bought my X100F. I used XH-1 for just over 2 years, and for all that time, I cannot express how happy I was with it. I absolutely enjoyed the experience of using this camera. I took it with me on many road trips, campings, adventures, and work for clients, and taking some of my best and favorite pictures with this camera. It's ergonomically great for my hands, very comfortable to hold with larger zoom lenses like 55-140 or even heavier. You can tilt the screen in so many ways, which is really helpful if you're trying to get a certain angle, and many other features that just make sense for me. I don't think I used this camera for video work, maybe filmed some clips but never posted them because at that time I had Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera for filming videos, and it really helped me to improve my filmmaking skills. I sold both of them in 2022 and purchased Fujifilm XH-2S. It's a phenomenal camera in my opinion that's both capable for filmmaking and photography, and that's what's filming me right now. But recently I found some pictures taken with XH-1 and it brought me so many good memories. I realized I missed this camera. I don't care if it's outdated and doesn't have the latest features, this camera simply works for me. In the past year, I used so many Fujifilm cameras for photography and they're all great in their own way, but Fujifilm XH-1 just makes more sense for the work I do, so I went on eBay and purchased my second one in great condition with a better grip for just $600. How crazy is that? For the lens, I'll be using my Fuji 16-55 f2.8 zoom with the Cine Bloom 10% diffusion filter, the one I used back in the days. Honestly, it felt so great to reunite with this camera. I've taken it to many places like hikes to catch the sunset, overlooks of LA, gorgeous Malibu drives, and many other spots. For me, XH-1 is a great second camera dedicated to photography since I use my Fujifilm XH-2 mostly for filmmaking. So how does it perform alongside a newer Fuji cameras? Well, XH-1 is obviously slower and not that advanced in many ways, but still for photographers, it's a very solid option. The battery life is decent when you have the battery grip attached, and with the boost mode, the camera performs much faster. What I really like about XH-1 is analog controls of shutter speed, ISO, shooting and focusing modes. It's all there and very convenient to make adjustments depending on situation, as well as LCD screen that you can adjust in so many ways, and it makes the process of taking pictures easier. Let's talk about downsides. For me, the biggest downside of this camera is video features. In my opinion, Fujifilm should have made this camera more video oriented. It would definitely help XH-1 stand out more from the rest, and Fujifilm fixed this with XH-2 and XH-2 that are both great for filmmakers and photographers. XH-1 is still a very capable camera for photography in 2024, and I believe will be in 2025, as a main camera and as a backup. Based on my experience, I can highly recommend it to people who need a Fujifilm camera with a larger DSLR-style body, good grip, analog controls, and that will be very comfortable to use with heavier professional zoom lenses. Plus, you can easily find this camera for around $500 to $700, which makes it great if you're on the budget. Fujifilm XH-1 is a great underrated camera with so much potential that deserves more attention, and I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts about it. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to press like, leave a comment, and of course, subscribe to the channel. I would absolutely love to have you here. You can also find me on Instagram. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, and I will see you next time.